Why did I pick the noisy... I think I got the noisy chair. Dang, the good chairs, there must be...
Yeah, well.
Well, this is the chair that Artie used the whole time he was here.
Yeah.
I mean, not just on the show, but at dinner and at breakfast and at lunch.
So you gave the wiggliest person the squeakiest chair.
Well, it didn't used to be the squeakiest chair, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Or they got switched around. I'll have to
Or maybe you have more than one squeaky chair.
Yes, these are Aunt Dee's old chairs, and God bless Aunt Dee. That's her china cabinet over there. This is her dining room table.
I like it.
And her chairs, so... Hi.
Hi.
Happy New Year still.
Happy New Year still.
You look so different from yesterday.
Don't I?
But at some point during yesterday's episode, you told us that you're going to get your hair done.
Yep, I did.
And I said, by tomorrow? And you said yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, by
Look
today.
at that.
So look at that.
It definitely wasn't like 6 days in between.
It's magical.
It's blooming.
Yeah, well, in reality, this is the first time we've seen each other in 2021.
Yeah.
You know, the shows from the past couple of days we recorded while Artie Rocket was in the house.
Oh, yeah. Is it my turn? Gosh. That child.
And the rave reviews for his appearance on Tuesday's show are quite spectacular.
Artie, you're a hit. You're a hit.
Yes. And I have more Artie stories, but I know that the big news is not me and is not Artie. The top story tonight, or this morning, is not your haircut, which
No.
I haven't really, I'm admiring it. You know, I liked it when you had a similar length before, but it was red before. Now,
Right.
5 years ago, or whenever that was, 3 years ago.
Now it's just whatever.
Yeah, all right.
But no, I got like 3 inches cut off, and I got some bangerangs, and yeah,
Nice.
it's something.
That's something.
Yeah.
So how did you ring in the new year, Krisha?
Well,
Let me do the plugs. Dang it, I got right into it. Forgot all the plugs.
It's fine.
Because we're on the YouTube. We want you to watch
are.
us on YouTube. And please subscribe so you can hear fabulous stories like this, especially if you're a friend or fan of Miss Krisha Brooke and you're missing all of her Instagram and Twitter posts while she's on hiatus. The only place to observe the madam is here. And on social media, on our Christian Frank, we just link to the YouTube, basically. But also Audible, where now that you've got all this time and it's winter and you want new things to hear.
Yeah.
My daughter listened on her Audible to the 7 Habits of Effective People, the revised newest 2020 edition of it, and now wants Jerry and me to listen, so we'll be more effective.
It's audibletrial.com/Krisha and Frank. It's fantastic, and actually a project that I'm currently working on is a feature on Audible. So
once that hits
once it hits the airwaves,
electronic waves of internet,
the digiwaves,
then we'll put the link on there and urge you to get Audible for that reason. But right now, sign up using our link, get a free 30-day trial, keep the first download and forever, and then decide at the end of the 30 days that you're going to go on and have unlimited access.
Yeah.
All right.
So, did you ask me how my New Year was?
I started to, and then I remembered I had to do the
plug.
advertisement. Yes.
Well, New Year's Eve, of course, I closed at Sweet Fanny Adams Theatre.
Now, somebody, I think it was Lawrence Evans, or maybe, recorded a video from his phone of the actual finale.
The very
and
final.
You are dabbing your eyes quite a bit, young lady.
We all got really choked up, and what got me choked up was Tim Coleman. We had, at the end of this specific show, we all climbed back into the trunk, because the idea of Sweet Fanny Adams from the very beginning was it was actors who live in a trunk. A magic trunk, that actors who live in a trunk.
That's why there's a trapdoor. Sorry, spoiler alert. That's why there's a trapdoor in the stage, and the trunk goes on top of the trapdoor.
Right.
But you can move the trunk, and it's a cool trick.
Yeah.
Okay.
The scene at the very end of the show was we all climbed back into the trunk, and we'd been doing it for a couple weeks. But Tim Coleman, his line is, "I've always loved this theater," and when he said, "I've always loved," his voice caught,
because he has performed there
since before I was born.
Over 40 years.
Over 40 years.
Because the theater's 44 years old, and he joined it relatively early on.
Yeah. And he retired in 2016, took 1 year off and came back.
I know. You know, when the year he retired is the year I had him in the Front Page Follies, because he missed the stage so much
Yeah.
He had like, what am I going to do with all this time? I said, well, come on, you can be my front page follies. And then he went right back to Sweet Fanny as soon as he could.
Yep. But he got choked up, and that got me. And then, yeah. And it was great. And I remember we had kind of talked about maybe on a show that I was having some like weird kidney issue. I don't know.
Well, we talked about a number of your pains. Like I was watching closely on these videos of you at Sweet Fanny, and I certainly noticed that you had an elbow brace on during a moment because you had talked about your arm hurting on this show.
Right.
And you talked about some other aches and pains in this area. We might have talked about the kidney stone. If we did, well, if we didn't, you had a kidney stone.
Oh no, I had a kidney infection that blocked up my kidney. Kidney stone that blocked up my kidney, gave me a kidney infection, and then had to go back because once the infection cleared up, they're like, "Oh, you had a kidney stone."
Oh, so you didn't know? So you thought that was flaring up again on New Year's?
I did. And it had been bothering me for a week or so. I'd been on medication. It was great. And New Year's Day, I woke up and I was in pain. And I drove home from Gatlinburg because I stayed up there.
Yeah.
Drove home from Gatlinburg, went home, went back to bed, was still in pain. So I went to the emergency room on New Year's Day. And luckily, nobody else did.
Wow, that's a surprise.
Yeah, and turns out after a CT scan, 2 EKGs, an X-ray, and 6 hours in the emergency room being monitored on an EKG, I have an irregular heartbeat.
That's not good.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with the pain, but the broken rib that I have...
It could explain your love life, though. What? Irregular heartbeat, get it?
Just...
All right, anyway, go ahead.
Just don't. I have a cracked rib.
So a cracked rib, those are hurt. I can tell you my cracked rib story was one time in Einstein Simplified when Paul Simmons picked me up by the rib cage and to carry me around in a scene where I was supposed to be a mannequin. And
it makes me hurt like right now.
Yeah. He accidentally cracked my rib. I didn't know he was so strong, but I was, I had lost a lot of weight, so I was like, let's pick a friend. But you cracked a rib in what way? No one picked you up by the rib cage.
No.
Which I do not recommend.
No, don't. Please don't. No, don't ever.
Yeah.
I'm just old and brittle. And
no, come on. There's something happened to crack your rib.
Okay. Let's go backward. You know how I've been talking about I put on a few pounds?
Well, from your working out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely from working out, not 2020 eating. I have to squeeze into some very tight dresses.
Well, you were way skinny. Right now you look healthy weight, but you were a little underweight at some point in the not too recent.
Yeah, depression.
Past.
I'm one of those people that I lose weight when So I was like,
found it.
Found it.
So, all right. So you're being squeezed into these fancy Victorian era dresses with corsets, and someone is behind you, literally pulling strings and tying.
There's people grabbing my waist to cinch the dress in so that and at some point something got cracked. I don't have a recollection.
I didn't feel it when it happened to me either. I didn't notice it till the next day.
I did take a stumble, but I have honestly, that's the only conclusion that I can come to.
Okay, so that's the most likely possibility.
Most likely is squeezing my fat ass into a dress.
As opposed to just sleeping hard.
Yes, as opposed to just sleeping hard alone.
I shouldn't have said that. That doesn't sound right now that I think about it. I meant like you were fast asleep and just and then laid on the side of the... I'm going to stop.
So that's how I spent New Year's Day. That was my New Year's Day.
I'm getting the slow burn take from over here. I'm not even trying. I'm not even trying to insult you. I'm just doing it by accident.
No. I should not tell you my secrets. So no, that's how I spent New Year's Day.
Well, I want to hear more about how this relates to your social media fast. And I'm trying to figure out what you call it. If you call it a social media hiatus, or some people call it abstinence. Some people call it a fast, like if you're doing it so, during Lent. Stay off social media for 40 days if you can during Lenten times.
I can't wait. Yeah.
So
there's some things I've already noticed, and it's been over a week.
Yeah, Krisha made a kind of a, not a farewell post, but kind of a see you later. I'm walking off into the sunset type post.
Yeah.
Which made total sense.
Yeah.
'Cause I knew we talked about it here on the show, so I'm thrilled because for all you Krisha fans and Krisha friends, you now have to. You don't have any choice. You have to listen to the podcast or watch the show to find out all of this important Krisha news.
Because we have news. I have news. You have news. We jointly
have news.
We will soon.
That
Real
news.
Soon.
That news. Yes. So meanwhile, the news is that Hutch and Howard, our first sponsor, on the podcast, is just doing gangbusters now, ready for 2021. More and more people are getting ready to pick up and relocate or do investment properties or flip a house or whatever it is you want, whatever it is that strikes your fancy in the real estate world. Call Hutch and Howard first because they are the guys and gals.
I have a friend currently, he and his girlfriend are almost out of their lease and they just started looking and they're looking around spring. I don't know why I heard that the girlfriend
was out of his league, but he said he and his girlfriend is out of his league, is what I heard. But you said
out of their lease.
Yeah, that's what you meant.
They're
it makes
almost
so
out
much
of
more
their
sense.
Lease.
I started jumping ahead, thinking
he was out of her league.
I need to slow down. So they're out of their lease, looking for a new place,
and they just started looking to buy a house. Like that's instead of a lot of couples instead of getting married, they buy a house together.
Yeah,
I'm here for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Find out.
It's a much better investment.
I'm going to avoid. I'm on thin ice right now.
You are.
I am on extremely thin ice.
You are. HutchandHoward.com. Remember Keller Williams. I can't talk now. 865-966-5005.
All right.
Let's get somebody else talking.
The jingle.
Lord have mercy.
From Adeem the artist.
If you're buying or selling your home, trust a professional, don't do it alone. From the sunflower fields to the Sunsphere Tower, there's a knowledgeable name. It's Hutch and Howard.
Part of Keller Williams Realty.
It's Hutch and Howard.
Each office independently owned and operated. 865-966-5005. Thank
Holy
you,
moly.
Rob and Brandon.
That was probably the worst commercial we've ever done for them.
Well, they get extra bonus points because they get the floating logo.
They do, and they get the sing song.
It's catchy. The whole family knows the jingle.
They should. Everybody should.
Yeah. So.
Stop looking at me like that. So, no social media.
Yeah, right. You have to follow Krisha on YouTube now because we have the Krisha and Frank show. Or on all the audio podcasting apps.
And to be honest,
you started this. You were going to start it on New Year's Day, but then a couple of days before that, you're like, "Why am I waiting?"
I could not wait.
Yeah.
I honestly, I kept going, oh my gosh, I cannot wait until I'm not. And then I finally was like, well, what the hell am I doing? So yeah.
So now, going back, connecting the dots here, it's New Year's Day, your rib is in pain. You thought it was your kidney, but it was not your kidney. Your kidney was fine. You have a cracked rib. You have an irregular heartbeat. And
all of these things are true.
You have an irregular heartbeat, and you're in the hospital at the emergency room for 6 hours. You must have broken your social media fast, at least looked at something. You must you've scrolled through other people's New Year's posts.
Nope. I have no idea what's happening in anyone's life, and I'm so happy about it.
It's probably for the best.
I had half of a phone battery. I have no social media. I had a book on my phone, but I didn't want to use my phone in case, when you're in the hospital, you don't know, and I didn't have a charger with me.
That's what my next question is. They should let you plug in and charge while you're laying there in the bed at the emergency room.
I had a phone cord with my USB, but I did not have a wall block.
The last time I had a loved one in the emergency room, I said, I'm not coming with you. I'm going home to get your charger and your iPad.
I should have done that, but I
No,
didn't.
you didn't. You didn't. You were in pain.
I just
you
went.
were by yourself. You could
Yes.
have called.
But
We would've-
there's no need.
Artie and I would have come right down.
There's no need to worry people. There's no need to get everybody up in arms. First of all, COVID is ridiculous. There's no reason to get anybody coming to a hospital if they don't need to be there.
Good point.
I was fine. And
And you're negative again. You got tested.
I got tested. Well, it was a rapid test. I don't trust those. But anyway, got tested. And I did nothing. There was no television.
What?
Because of
No,
COVID.
there's usually some kind of Property Brothers marathon.
In the emergency room, they have taken the remotes and the ways to use the television out because it's another thing
then
they
you
would have to
went-
clean and sanitize.
You went to the wrong hospital. I'm saying the one across the street or across the river would have been better.
Probably,
All
but
right,
I
whatever.
didn't.
You went to that one.
I went to that one, and so I I sat there and I watched my heart monitor. And I wrote songs
About your heartbeat.
about my heartbeat.
That's not a bad idea.
And
That's actually pretty cool because I immediately started thinking about heartbeat songs.
and I wrote some songs in my head because I didn't have a pen and paper. And
Or a ukulele.
I organized my purse. I took everything out of it. But honestly, it was really nice just to sit quietly. It was like meditation. I just sat.
But of all the people I know, you're one of the only people I know who normally does that. You actually do.
Yeah.
At least you tell me you do, right?
do.
You sit on your porch, you go for a run, and you're in the woods. And I don't know who takes these pictures of you while you're alone in the woods.
I do.
But
I got a timer on my phone.
I'm assuming you just passers-by.
Speaking of, years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, I went to Lookout Mountain and I did the whole.
It's like Chattanooga, right?
Yeah, and I did the whole. I'd never gone to.
See Rock City.
I'd never gone to Rock City,
Nor have I.
I seed Rock City. I went by myself.
I haven't been interested in this.
And I went and I saw Rock City, and it was charming and kitschy and wonderful. But I posted a picture of myself at Look
Rock City, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
You can see how many states from up there, multiple.
And some doo-doo head, I was like, had a great time, loved a solo adventure. And this guy commented on, I don't even know who it was. And he commented, he's like, if it was a solo adventure, how'd you get a picture? I was like, first of all, there's other people there.
Yeah.
Secondly, there are timers on phones
yeah.
that they're magic. And you can set them and you can run away and come back.
We're trying to do that with Baby Lucy and Artie, but we couldn't get the two of them to look the same direction.
No.
Yeah.
But
when the timer went off.
here's the thing. I made it through my quiet time, my whatever. I listened to them talk out in the hallway because I heard all about other people's problems going on.
There's a lot of drama in the
There
ER.
is.
A lot of drama.
And social media, as we all know, is so bad for you. But here's what they do. I logged out and deleted the apps off of my phone. Like, I uninstalled them.
Because you can put them back when your hiatus is
Right.
over, but you uninstalled them to avoid make it that much more difficult to just.
And
I know
honestly-
the feeling. I'm looking at mine and I'm like, and your finger you're like, oh, I'll just check it for a second.
And let's say you need to look up a company. A lot of times the only website a company has is on Facebook. I'm like,
One of our sponsors, Steve's Tree Service, they prefer that you go to their
Right.
Facebook page. Yeah.
which is totally fine. They email you.
Who does?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
To say someone deleted the app off your
No,
phone?
they email. It's been a day since you logged in. Check back in and see what's going on with your friends. Your friends are posting about their new year. Check back in.
Are you serious?
I
think-
am-
What, are they emailing you right now?
No,
They're
that's a
calling
phone
you.
call.
Yeah, Facebook's calling to say, we
Probably.
heard you talking about us.
They email you. They send you notifications.
Get out of here.
All of them.
Well, I am embarrassed because obviously I've never been off long enough to get the email.
Yeah, they email
Oh, man,
you.
I need to get out.
I'm logged out and they're sending emails to the emails that I have registered to those. Yeah. And I'm just I have not missed it at all.
Wow, because you were the queen of the Twitter for a while.
I love Twitter.
And the Instagrams and the...
Twitter is probably my favorite, and I love it, but I have not missed it. I don't know what's happening in the world. I listen to my little NPR stories.
Well, there's other things. Yeah, there's other ways to get headlines. I mean, you can... you showed me that you were reading Knoxville News on one of your
on Reddit.
Apps. Yeah,
right.
And they had links to stories from the local TV and newspaper.
Yeah, and I mean Reddit. Technically, I guess you could say it's a social media, but I don't follow or interact with anyone that I know.
Right, it's different. You're not posting your pictures on it. People aren't commenting and liking, and you don't get that. Is it an endorphin that I'm trying to think of? You don't get that dopamine or whatever it is, that rush when somebody likes what you did.
Yeah.
Which is the whole trick to social media is all of a sudden everyone's a performer and you start to crave the applause that those of us in show business have been doing our entire careers.
Yeah. And the things that have happened in just the week that I've been off of social media that I have been able to engage in, and some life things that have happened.
You got your haircut.
I did. But like this project that I'm working on, I was able to just sit and read and be in it and listen, and I had nothing else to do, and it was so great.
This is an acting job that you'll tell us more about in the future.
Yes.
In the future.
Future times. But I can't, I might not come back.
From where? The acting job?
No, I might not come back to social media.
Are you going to come back tomorrow to do this?
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow.
All right.
I'm still here. But I might not come back.
To social media.
I might not.
I have discovered, now of course I'm the pest who tries to send, please like the Krisha and Frank show to everybody on my list.
Right.
So I notice that I have exhausted my list of friends. But occasionally someone will pop up because they have briefly reactivated their Facebook account. And now all of a sudden they're back in my friends list after having been gone. But it then occurs to me, while I was also looking to weed out some dead people, make room.
Yeah.
A lot of dead friends. To make some room. You see these ghost shadows of heads, and it says
Facebook user.
So-and-so has deactivated their account. If you unfriend them, or if you do this, you won't be able to get them back.
Yeah.
If you just do nothing, you'll be refriended with them if they ever come back to Facebook.
Yeah.
You're not alone in that. I was surprised how many people in my list have done it.
Yeah, I haven't deactivated. I just logged out.
Logged out.
Yeah. I was like, I don't need it. And I haven't missed it. Have not even been tempted to log in.
Well, leave your comments. Click the thumbs up button.
Let us know what you think.
Be sure to share.
Tell us how great we are. Tell us how much you can relate to this too.
Because if you can't find Krisha on social media, you can find Krisha and Frank at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I
still exist, but only with the "and Frank" after it.
You poor thing.
I know.
It's like the chain, like Marley's ghost dragging the chains through life.
These three ghosts will visit you. All right, we gotta go.
So do subscribe on YouTube and all of the things. We'll be back here tomorrow. I still have arty stories to tell you.
Oh, I can't wait.
And a whole lot more. And you know what I should have done is if on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day rather, when you're sitting there alone in the hospital room, I could have come down with. Artie and I would have easily come down. We have so many of these 2021 glasses that Jerry purchased.
Let me get some glitter on my face.
I mean, how many are in here? It's like
maybe
we don't
have much too early.
Yeah, here you go. Here's a Happy New Year head thing.
Oh,
so this is how we could have come over. I have a fascinator over here too. So all right. Thanks for watching.
Be the one to hold you tight.
Tomorrow's Friday. We got that going for us.
12 o'clock at night. Welcoming in the new year.
New profile pic.